heard that at the bus stop this morning. There was some people talking, like, yeah, I'm just not a morning person. I just can't get up. I'd go exercise, but I just can't do it. It's not who I am. No one's a morning person. Just the one person who lies on Instagram is, who says they love jumping out of bed in the morning. Everyone hates getting up early. Everyone has days where they hate going to the gym. The disciplined person does it anyway. The disciplined person doesn't wait until he feels like it. He doesn't wait until the timing's perfect. He doesn't wait for the perfect moment. He just does it anyway. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rising Father Podcast. I'm Chris Rodek. Today, we're calling us on our We're calling fathers on their the lies we like to tell people that make us sound noble, but really they're just a disguise for us taking the easy way out. I call these noble-sounding lies. So these are the noble-sounding lies that fathers tell themselves to get out of doing the work they have to do to make a real change, such as, I would die for my kids, but I refuse to go to the gym, eat healthy, do any kind of work for them, or suffer for them. So yeah, this podcast is going to be, it might cut some of you a little bit. And I'm guilty of some of these too. I have been guilty of them. Part of my job as a coach with the guys that I help in my group is to call them on their if I see it, just as I needed. But that's why people come to me, and that's why people join Men of Fire, is so that somebody can pop that ego open, tell them what they really need to hear, because they're willing to have a bruised ego for a moment if the rest of their life is going to be different. If it can help them go sober, quit porn, be a better husband and father, rescue their marriage, have them lose 100 pounds and get ripped. They're willing to have somebody tell them the truth when everyone else is just saying yes to them. So that's my job. I like to tell uncomfortable truths and call fathers on their So that's what this podcast is all about, calling fathers on their and ripping out to the surface, exposing these truths of these uncomfortable lies. So I'm going to take you through some of the most common ones, see how many we get through. The one I started with, I die for my kids, that's not even really what I'm going to talk about, because that's kind of just like a generic thing that people say. These that I'm going to go through are really specific lies that we say to get out of doing a specific thing. So here's the first one. I'll give you an example. We'll call this the martyr lie. And this is probably the number one that I've heard. And I'm 4 years into Rising Father, 4 or 5 years into Rising Father. Men of Fire program, we're 2.5 years in. So I've read thousands of applications, taken thousands of messages, read thousands and thousands of comments, been on hundreds of calls with guys that want to join the program. Some of them join, some of them aren't a fit. Some of them are a fit and then tell themselves a noble-sounding lie, like, I really want to join, but I just need to think about it for 30 days and then I'll be ready to join. So that's an example. But these have to do with all fathers. And whenever you listen to this, you're going to be able to recognize some of them you've probably told yourself. And as I said, I've also told myself some of these too. So let's get into it. See if you can drop the ego on this episode, open up, and face some uncomfortable truths this episode. See if you can do that with me. And if you hear something that relates to you, don't just shut your eyes and turn it off and run away. Write it down and say, this is something that I've been telling myself that is holding me back. Because a noble lie is a sophisticated form of self-deceit. It's the lie you tell yourself that sounds respectable, it sounds honorable, even selfless, all while it is strangling your potential and ensuring you remain stuck. These are the lies that get you a pat on the back as you retreat from the life you are meant to live. So let's expose them. The martyr lie. I don't have time to work out or focus on my health. I have to work relentlessly to provide for my family. Or I am so focused on my family, I don't have time to improve me. All of my time and energy and resources are on being a father. So because of that, I do not have time to improve the father. That is the lie that I hear over and over and over again from the guy who's has an alcohol problem, a weight problem, an energy problem, a presence problem, an anger problem. Those are the things he is not going to fix because because he's being a good father. He tells people the noble lie of, I don't have time to do that. I'm doing these things. Meanwhile, I'm the wrong guy to say that to, because my entire coaching group is dedicated to helping fathers who are extremely busy, extremely successful, extremely chaotic in their lives, get disciplined, implement systems and habits so they can thrive in the chaos and not run from the chaos. So I'm the wrong guy to say that to, because my entire business is about taking down this noble lie. So here's the noble justification. It cloaks inaction in the sacred duty of being a good provider. It sounds like the ultimate sacrifice. You're putting your family's financial well-being above your own needs. I don't have time. All I'm doing is providing for my family. But the uncomfortable truth is he's using his job as a shield to avoid the harder, more uncomfortable work of self-mastery. A depleted, unhealthy, and undisciplined man is not a gift to his family. He is a liability. He is succeeding at providing a paycheck while failing at providing a strong, present, energetic father and husband. So this one covers two things, and you heard two things. The one part of it was, I don't have time because I'm providing, and the other part is, I don't have time because I'm spending all my time being a father, meaning sitting on the ground and playing or whatever you say. But you're not, the guy who says that isn't even spending his time doing that most of the time. Usually it's sitting on the couch, scrolling his phone, doom scrolling. It's not actively engaging in doing those things. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. The point being, if you give your family a depleted, unenergetic, unpresent, scrap version of you, that is not a gift. That is a burden. You are depriving them of the man that you could be, of the father they could be, of the husband that your wife could get. They would rather have a confident, disciplined man that respects himself than a guy who is just full of excuses. Number two, the peacemaker's lie. This one has to do with your wife. Here's the lie. I'm not bringing up our problems because I don't want to stress my wife out. I'm not going to ask my wife about this because I don't want to stress her out. I just want to keep the peace. I'm just going to say yes. I'm the happy wife, happy life guy. Listen to our Happy Wife, Happy Life podcast if you get a moment. Just did it. But I'm not going to do it because I don't want to stress her out. The noble justification being, it frames him as the protector of his wife's feelings and the keeper of the peace in the household. Here's the truth. This man is terrified of conflict. He's terrified of his wife. He is weak. He's unconfident. He's a yes man. He's a people pleaser. Like a chameleon, he changes who he is based on who's around him. And this is a relationship he has grown with his wife. So he would rather endure a cold, silent truce than engage in the difficult conversations necessary for a strong marriage. This avoidance does not create peace. It creates a quiet resentment that will destroy his family from the inside out. And I've seen it destroy families from the inside out. I've rescued men who were in the process of destroying their families by this lie. Because we tell ourselves these lies as a Band-Aid over our own weakness. They feel good going down. It's like somebody who drinks whenever they're stressed out. Whenever you're drinking and you get that buzz, you escape reality. You escape the pain for a moment. These noble-sounding lies are exactly the same thing. You drink down the noble-sounding lie. You feel good. Everyone else thinks you're good because you just lied to them and said what a martyr you are, what a saint you are. And then inevitably, just as whenever you wake up from drinking, you feel like crap. Your life hasn't improved. You have successfully dodged the confrontation. You've successfully dodged the obstacle for now, but you've just kicked the can down the road. That's all you've done. Lie number 3, the quality time lie. I'm just relaxing on my phone so I can decompress and be a better father in a bit. Your son's there, he wants to play with you. Your daughter's there, he wants to play with you. Your wife wants to spend time with you. You're like, no, I just got to be on my phone for a little bit. And you're not counting down the years that you have left with your children in the house or with your wife at her current age. If she's healthy, thank God she's healthy, because there will be a time when you guys are not healthy. Someone has a disease. That's going to happen. Everybody gets sick. If you're in a family right now where people aren't sick, thank your lucky stars. And just imagine being 70 years old, looking back at your age right now, seeing your wife, your kids, and seeing them asking you to play, And imagine you're 30 years past your kids even living with you. They're 30 years old, have their own kids. And you watch a video of yourself telling your son, as you stare at your phone, don't even look up. Yeah, I can't right now. I just got to decompress. And there are definitely times you need to decompress and relax. I have that time blocked into my day. I must recharge my subconscious, and I must relax and use that to charge me up for the rest of the day. But I'm disciplined about it. I make sure these things happen before my kids get home. I make sure these things happen not whenever my son is asking me to play basketball or whatever the case may be. With all these things, because you may have even created a noble-sounding lie as I was talking about this noble-sounding lie. You could have said, well, yeah, but in my case, insert excuse that justifies your inaction. So here's the noble justification for the quality time lie. You're just managing your stress so you can show up better for them later. And there is a time to do that, as I just said. Like, for me, I work, and then I will, even whenever I was a teacher. So, right now I work at home. I'm in a business. This is my home office. It's my base. It's one room in my basement. That's my business. It's my office. Everything's run from here. But I also used to be a teacher. Whenever I was a teacher, I would have a prep period where you have 40 minutes to prep for your next class. It was like 100 middle school kids, 30-minute break, and outside the break, I would have an elementary band blaring drums and trumpets into my office. Then I have another 40-minute class of 100 middle school kids playing instruments. And I would take 10 minutes to myself. I'd turn the lights off, put headphones on, shut my eyes, and that was me recharging as much as I could. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. Right now, as I work from home, I have my daytime blocked, and I have recharge sessions marked into my day, such as you're doing creative stuff here. Here's a problem you need to think about. Let's take a 5-10 minute lay down on the patio on the couch outside. Shut your eyes. Don't look at any screens. Let your subconscious relax. Don't think about anything, and allow your brain to process the day. Come back recharged. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sitting on the couch, staring at your phone, not being present with your family, and then justifying it. So the justification is I'm trying to manage my stress so I can show up better for my family later. The uncomfortable truth is I'm choosing a cheap dopamine hit of distraction over the difficult and unglamorous work of active presence, sitting on the ground and playing Cabbage Patch Dolls with your daughter. This isn't recharging, it's numbing. It's teaching your children that the most valuable thing in the room is the screen, and modeling a life of escapism, not engagement. Number 4, the prudent analyst's lie. I hear this one, and I come into contact with this one a lot. I've also been guilty of this whenever I was trying to start my business back in the day, not this business, but other businesses, or I've been in many business groups where there's 1,000 people in the group. Everyone's trying to start a digital, first it was an ad agency group, and then I was in a marketing group, and then I was in a branding group where everyone's trying to start these online business things. Certain people rise to the top. Most people make excuses. It's just the way it is. I would say 5% of people in all these groups end up doing something. The rest of them create noble-sounding lies as to why they can't do things. For example, I'll give you an example. I was in a group where we were creating digital properties, such as risingfather.com, you could call as one. theartofmanliness.com is one. These digital gateway brands where you could go there. They have blogs and articles, and the intention is to drive traffic so you get ad revenue, and they can do affiliate marketing and all kind of stuff. So I was in that kind of group. And some people just took action. Other people researched for 6 months and still weren't ready because they were adjusting the font on their website. They were proofreading their blogs for the 100th time and saying, we think it'd be more effective this way. I think the picture needs this kind of border. And they're just always thinking, always doing research, always waiting for the perfect moment to start. And they say to you, I need more time to think about it. It's the same thing for the guy who says he wants to join my program or any program, or he wants to invest in himself and start something. He's thought about it for 10 years. He's like, I need to do it. My life is on the line. My life is on the line. And then when it comes time for him to act, he says, no, I'm not ready. I still got to think about it. It's fear. It's terror. And what happens in that moment is the guy is forced to reckon with his pattern of self-sabotaging behavior. That's what happens. The moment you invest in yourself, the moment you decide to actually act, that is your first step forward of destroying the old you. Because you're actually putting money down on yourself. You're actually placing a bet on yourself. You're saying, no, this is the guy I want to be. There's no going back now. It's your first act of rebellion against yourself. So for any of part of our life where we say, I need more time to think about it, do my research, wait for the perfect moment to start. And as always, I'm not talking about, hey, I'm planning a vacation, I need to plan the vacation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that you've known you've had to do for years, and you keep on lying to yourself. You keep on procrastinating and planning to attack. You're always planning your attack. You're never attacking. Wanting, thinking, acting, wishing is not work. Acting is work. You can want, think, you can want, think, wish, feel, talk all you want, but it's still not acting. Nothing has changed. If nothing has changed, if you've taken no steps forward to change your life, you have not taken any steps forward to change your life, to say it very simply. And talking about wanting to change your life, making a plan to change your life, is not changing your life yet. Because you make one plan to change something, and then you chase a shiny object and you make another plan, and then you find out that that one's just a little bit too much work than you want to do, so you make another one. And you say, oh, that one's a little bit too uncomfortable for me, so you do. And all you're doing is planning, and time is just ticking away. So I need more time to think about it. I don't make rash decisions. I don't do things on the spot. I need to wait for the perfect moment. Here's the noble justification. This lie masquerades as wisdom. You want to sound wise. You want to sound prudent and intelligent. It makes procrastination, the pattern that is keeping you miserable and stuck in the source of all your problems, it makes procrastination sound like a calculated strategy. But that exact issue is why you're stuck right now. And then when it comes time for you to finally take action and stop the procrastination, you say this lie to yourself once again. This is possibly the most dangerous one because it puts the guy in an infinite cage. It's like he's in a paradox. He's in a lie that is self-constructed that has a closed loop because the answer to the lie is his exact lie. Like for him to get out, he has to beat this lie. That's the boss of his video game. Because the guy who always needs time to think about it, he's always going to reach the end of I need to think about it. So say he says to himself, I need 6 months to think about doing this thing, right? Because it's a perfect world. You're like, okay, he's like, I need to do this thing. So someone says, and then he says, I need to think about it. Say, okay, how much time do you need? 6 months. 6 months will start. 6 months will go by. On the 1 minute before that 6-month timer goes up, he's going to run into this exact same thing again, where it's time for him to act. And then once again, another noble lie is going to come out. It's just words covering up fear. It's paralysis by analysis. It's a terror. It's being fearful and terrified of commitment and failure. This man is terrified of committing to anything. He's terrified of failing. The perfect moment, that's a mirage he chases to avoid the terrifying reality of the present moment, which is the only place action can occur. He isn't analyzing the opportunity. He is analyzing his escape routes. He's not interested in committing to anything. In his head, he's always thinking, how can I escape this? How can I get out? Like, I think I gave you an example of a call I had with a guy. And remember, I'll never forget this guy. It was like 3 years ago when I first started Men of Fire, just getting into calls with people, finding out their excuses for the first time. This guy told me, he loved telling me how he owned 3 hotels. He's like, I owned 3 hotels. He kept on telling me how much money he had. But he had zero discipline. He was in, his marriage was falling apart. He's just lived life at work, alcoholic. And then, I remember he asked me, he's like, well, can I do a month trial? Can I do a free month trial? So I said, no, you're already planning your escape route. You're already telling me you're not going to commit. And if it's not right for you, if it's uncomfortable, it's a little bit more effort than you're willing to do right now, you're going to quit. So before you even start, you're planning your escape. And that was the truth. It's paralysis by analysis, terrified of commitment and failure. The perfect moment avoids the terrifying reality of the present moment. You don't want to deal with the present moment. You want it to go away because you're being confronted with a mirror. The thing that has held you back your entire life and that you keep on avoiding, it's finally time for you to do something about it. So you say, no, this isn't the right moment. I'm going to wait for the perfect moment. perfect moment never comes. You're just avoiding the present moment over and over and over again. And like I said, this is maybe the most terrifying one in a psychological way, because the perfect moment always comes around again to the present moment. But that guy who's stuck in that loop, he rarely escapes. Like, if that's your problem, I'm like, uh-oh, it can absolutely happen. You can absolutely change, but the guy has to be all in. He has to be committed. He can't be wishy-washy, because psychologically it's very, very hard to get out of this cage of waiting for the perfect moment. Like, just imagine a hamster wheel. The hamster's at the bottom. He says, I'm going to wait for the perfect moment. The wheel goes around, it comes back to the bottom. And he says, oh, the present moment's here. And it's not that the perfect moment. He's like, yes, I'm ready to act. He's scared because fear and fear of failure is the truth that he's avoiding. So then he once again waits till the perfect moment. So it goes around a loop again and comes back. Next one. We'll call this the financial guardian lie. Investing in myself is selfish and irresponsible to my family's financial future. I can't invest in myself. That'd be selfish. I can't spend money on a gym. I can't spend money on a coach. I can't spend money on a course that would help me. I can't spend money on blank. That would be selfish and irresponsible. I can't spend money on fixing the thing that's been destroying my family. That'd be selfish and irresponsible. The noble justification, it paints him as the vigilant protector of the family's resources, making a fiscally responsible choice. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This is a catastrophic failure to understand what an asset truly is. And this guy will spend thousands on depreciating liabilities, and he'll call them, it'll be his boat, his car, his truck part, going out to eat multiple times a week, alcohol, weed, tobacco, vacations, things that feel good in the moment, vices. He will spend thousands and thousands of dollars on temporary pleasure, but he will never invest in the thing that has the highest ROI and impacts every single thing he touches. I think about a guy in my program, just like 2 months in, and he has such a bright, confident smile now. He came in, just went all in. He's down like 30 pounds. He's waking up at 3:45 every single morning. He's like, He's like, Chris, my wife loves you. It's like, awesome, man, but that's not the point of this program. The point of the program is that she loves you. It's like, she loves the program. She loves what it's done for me and for our marriage. And I just think of how different his life is now, and because he invested in himself. And I think about, for me, when I invested in myself, told this story many times, paid a coach $4,000 to help me with build an ad agency the first time, paid it back 100 times over. That was the best thing I could have done for my family. Me telling this lie would have crippled us in that moment. In our moment of the most broke we've ever been, had I just hoarded all of my money to me, it would have crushed me, and it would have crushed my family. But thank God I took a bet on me and my family. So the noble justification is it paints this guy as the vigilant protector of the family's resources, making a fiscally responsible choice. And the truth is, it's a catastrophic failure to understand what an asset is. The most valuable asset his family will ever have is a father operating at his highest level. Everywhere. A patient, present, energetic, athletic, inspiring, wise, calm, present father. Number 6, the Savior's lie. The kids have to come first, before my marriage and myself. The noble justification, to be a dedicated, loving father who prioritizes his children's needs above all else. The uncomfortable truth. He's using the tangible needs of his kids to avoid the complex, long-term needs of his marriage. The single greatest gift you can give your children is a strong, loving marriage between their parents, and a father who loves and respects himself and has become all he can be. When the kids come first at the expense of your wife, the foundation of their world becomes unstable. Your son needs to see what a good father is. Your daughter needs to see what a good husband is. So she knows who to marry and your son knows who to model. Well, what's the best way we could fix the world right now? How about more healthy couples? How about more strong, confident couples who invest more time and energy and money in each other, go on more dates, go on more trips together, flirt more, love each other? They aren't just logistical providers and runarounds for their children. There is nothing wrong with saying, hey kids, me and mom are going out tonight. grandma's going to watch you, babysitter's going to watch you, or whatever the case may be. But no, you're sorry, son, your mom comes first. Got to treat her out. Got to take her out tonight. It's the way it is. Then your son might complain, but he feels safe and good inside knowing that dad is choosing mom. Your kids love to see dad choosing mom. They love to see you flirt with your wife. They love to see what mom and dad are doing together. They might go, ooh, but they love to see you guys kissing each other. You can just see it in their face. As they get a little bit older, I get into middle school and high school, they make some reactions, but they love knowing that mom and dad are in love. Nothing brings more insecurity and fear to a family than when mom and dad are fighting, or there's tenseness and coldness and tension between mom and dad, or the kids say, Mom, are you and Dad getting divorced? Because they know one of their friends at school, their parents are divorced. They saw a Disney movie where all the parents are always getting divorced, or whatever the case may be. Like, Mom, you and Dad are fighting all the time. You guys getting divorced? Nothing makes a family feel more scared and insecure and on more shaky ground than when the father and mother aren't getting along. So no, your wife comes first. The marriage comes first. You taking care of yourself comes first. The perfectionist lie. If I can't follow the plan perfectly, I might as well not even start. I have high standards. And I did a podcast called Kill Your Ego or something like that, or You Don't Need a Plan, You Need to Kill Your Ego. I tell a story of the guy who said, I've been waiting for 3 years to get the perfect plan to start, and I'm hoping you have the perfect plan for me. If I can't follow the plan perfectly, I might as well not even start. I have high standards. The noble justification. This lie masquerades as a commitment to excellence. It sounds like a man who refuses to do anything halfway. The truth is, he's just a man who refuses to do anything because he doesn't like working. The truth is, this guy's lazy. He's also perfectionist. He also doesn't want to fail. He doesn't want to look bad. The uncomfortable truth, this is the ultimate ego trap. He worships a fantasy of the perfect outcome to avoid the messy, imperfect reality of the actual work. His fear of looking foolish guarantees a result of absolute zero. Progress is built on a foundation of imperfect, consistent action. In my group, all the time, one of my rallying cries and things I repeat over and over again is move forward imperfectly. Take imperfect action today. Take imperfect action today. This is what you must do. I don't care if you mess up. I don't care if you fail. If you can't make a mistake, I don't care. Take a step forward. Walk into the fog. This is what you must do. Take a step imperfectly, because one imperfect step is better than 0 perfect steps being taken. And many men waste their lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect step, waiting for the perfect plan. It never comes. No one has that opportunity. No one's just sitting there and the perfect plan is handed to them. God doesn't just hand you perfection. God wants you to be strong. He wants you to be a resilient guy who can overcome obstacles. So he gives you obstacles to overcome. You must become a man who can defeat obstacles, not one who runs from them or waits for them to roll out of his way. Who's the strong man? The guy that can overcome an obstacle, or the one who runs away or waits for it to move? Who's the resilient guy? The guy who learns how to overcome the obstacle. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting for the perfect anything. That's not the problem. Your problem isn't you don't have the right information. Your problem is you do not know how to use the information you already have. Lie number 8, the humble realist's lie, the noble lie. I have to be realistic about who I am. I'm just not a morning person, a disciplined guy. I'm just not a disciplined guy. It's too late for me to change. I heard that at the bus stop this morning. There was some people talking. They're like, yeah, I'm just not a morning person. I just can't get up. I'd go exercise, but I just can't do it. It's not who I am. No one's a morning person. Just the one person who lies on Instagram is, who says they love jumping out of bed in the morning. Everyone hates getting up early. Everyone has days where they hate going to the gym. The disciplined person does it anyway. The disciplined person doesn't wait until he feels like it. He doesn't wait until the timing's perfect. He doesn't wait for the perfect moment. He just does it anyway. I just have to be realistic about who I am. The noble justification. This lie sounds like humility and self-awareness. It sounds like humility and self-awareness. He's not making excuses. He's just a man who knows his limitations. And I've heard this from guys also like, Chris, I know what this sounds like, but I'm really not that guy. I just need I just can't. I just need a plan. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses. I know it sounds like I'm procrastinating. I know to you it sounds like I'm just saying the same thing that's sabotaging me, but it's not really what I'm doing. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not really doing it. Lies and webs and logics and ego, all these things keep guys stuck. So once again, it sounds like humility and self-awareness. He's not making excuses. He's just a guy who knows his limitations. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This is a preemptive surrender disguised as wisdom. He's already surrendering before he even starts. But he wants to protect his ego, so he wants it to sound like wisdom. At the end of it all, he's done nothing. He's using a false identity as an excuse to never risk the failure that comes with attempting to become someone new. Realism is the cage he builds around his own potential. I got to be realistic about who I am. So I did a podcast called The Internal Governor. That's what this is. It's your identity. Who you believe you are is a cage around your potential. What I try to do and what we do in my group is every single morning we create a vision for ourselves that is far greater than what we think is possible. So every single day we actively rip those bars out and open up our cage so we can become the ultimate version of ourselves. Group project. So we encourage every single day. So we're trying to rip out our governors. I'm just too old. That's just not who I am. To me, you're just taking a big iron bar and shutting it over yourself. You're just closing the coffin door right over yourself. I'm too old. I'm just not a morning person. I'm just not disciplined. I can't do it. It's great you can. This is not who I am. Okay, so you are never going to outperform who you think you are. So if that's just not who you are, then you just accepted that you're just surrendering right now. Okay, that's fine. Now don't say you want to change. So you accept who you are. You also accept the consequences of who you are. So don't say you feel bad for the impacts on your family, because you don't. You just accepted the consequences. Don't say you want to be different, because you don't. You've just accepted the consequences. You said this is just who you are. So you know the consequences of the actions of the person that you are. And by saying, I can't change, this is just who I am, you're accepting those consequences and the people that they hurt. So accept it. Lie number 9, the isolation lie, the noble lie. I have to handle it all myself. If it means anything, I have to do it myself. And that you see these memes all over the men's space, which is why so many guys are so screwed up. There's so many very, very popular channels and accounts and messaging out there that encourages guys to isolate. And is there anything in the world that could be worse for a guy's mental health than isolation? Probably not. Having all of his dark, negative, judgmental thoughts bouncing around his own brain. The worst person in our lives is most often us. It's how we speak to ourselves. I was talking to a guy today, and I said, are you your own cheerleader? Are you the one who builds you up, or are you the one who tears you down the most? He just laughed. He's like, cheerleader, are you kidding me? No, I destroy myself. I'm the one who destroys myself. So yeah, tell that guy to go off alone. Go be a monk for 2 months. Let's see how that turns out. He won't even be here telling yourself you're a piece of crap every single morning. No, get around people who are going to breathe life into you. You are a fresh breeze, who say, no, you're meant for greatness. Actually, you're not the piece of shit that you are telling yourself you are. Actually, you're an awesome guy. You're a great husband. You're a great father. We just need to guide you a little bit right now. You just need some accountability. You need to be in a positive environment and cut out all the toxic bullshit in your life. That's what you need right now. The noble justification to be the unwavering source of strength, which is good. You want to be an unwavering source of strength, but you insist on doing it alone. You say, the only way I can be an unwavering source of strength is by doing it alone. And the uncomfortable truth is this guy's mistaken isolation for strength. He's afraid to be vulnerable and admit he's struggling. He's also afraid to admit he doesn't have all the answers. He cuts himself off from support, making himself and his family more fragile. Navy SEALs, do they go on a mission alone, or do they have people with them? Olympic basketball teams, is it one man or is it 5 people? Army, is it one guy or is it a group of people? Football team, one guy or a group of people? Who's stronger, the individual or the team? The tribe. The tribe. Brotherhood. Men. If one man has struggled as you have, and he can tell you one thing that can save your life right now and save you a decade of pain and regret, would you want to talk to him? Or would you want to have to earn it out in the woods alone? because it means more to you. No, talk to him. Lie number 10, I already know. I appreciate the help, but I already know what I need to do. I just need to get motivated to do it. That's the thing. I know what to do. I'm just not motivated. In the future, me will be motivated. I'm not motivated. I can't do it. But this future Chris, he's going to be motivated. Over the past 20 years, I have zero pattern of proof that that could happen. Actually, I have 20 years of proof that the exact opposite is going to happen, which is why I'm in such a bad place right now. But because I know what to do, the future Chris, he's going to be the motivated and disciplined guy. So I don't have to do anything right now because this future guy is going to do it. Do you see the insanity of this logic? This is like somebody gaslighting themselves. This is some horrific inside of you gaslighting the man you could become so that he can continue to smoke weed on the couch. That's what it is. So Chris, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to. No. You'll be motivated tomorrow. Don't worry. Don't listen to them. You don't have to act. You're going to do it next week, next month. Don't worry about it, man. We'll be motivated next month. Don't listen to them. But forget the past decade. You already know what to do. Go ahead, have a drink. Who is our worst enemy? The guy inside. Once again, why you shouldn't isolate. So the noble justification. This lie protects the ego by projecting an image of intelligence and self-reliance. This is all about protecting your own ego, your own self-image. And a weak, crumbling man oftentimes has the thickest ego because he has such a fragile identity that he has to protect. He's got like this fragile crystal sculpture inside that if you flick it, it's going to crumble. You want to have a concrete or a marble statue in there. So you don't need a strong ego because you know how strong and confident you are. But the guy who's the weakest on the inside has the biggest ego because he has such a fragile little child inside that needs protecting. Knowing what to do is profoundly different from having a system of accountability that forces you to do it. This is an intellectual trap that allows a man to feel smart while remaining inactive. The real problem is never a lack of information. It's a lack of integrity and accountability. That's the real problem. I can't tell you how many times in my group guys will say, hey, this week I'm not drinking. 7 days I'm not drinking. They put it in our accountability space. They got 10 comments. Yeah, man, we got it every single day. John, where's your post? You still sober? What's going on? Or for any of the problems they have every single day. This is what guys need. Accountability, a system of accountability, brotherhood, inspiration. So you don't fall into your own trap. So the only negative voice you're listening to isn't pulling you down. Yourself, your own negative voice. And then we can start to train you to be your biggest cheerleader, train you to be the one who encourages you and builds you up. So you are your most positive voice in your life. That's what is possible if you can train your brain to do that. The I already know lie. I appreciate the help, but I already know what to do. I just need to get motivated. Protects the ego, projecting an image of intelligence. He's not ignorant. He's just in a slump. The uncomfortable truth. Knowing what to do is profoundly different from having a system of accountability that forces you to do it. So there they are. These are lies that sound like honor. They sound really good. They sound noble, but they are chains in disguise. So the question isn't whether you've told yourself these lies. It's whether you are going to keep believing them. The truth is transformation isn't found in comfort or prudence. It's forged in decisive, uncomfortable, boring, consistent action when you don't feel like it, when the timing isn't perfect. In the most imperfect, inconvenient, wrong times, imperfect action, that is when transformation is forged. The real noble path is to stop lying to yourself and finally do the work that you are avoiding.